Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage. We're back here on Monday after a weekend away from the shop and working down at the Cleveland Guardians Stadium. We took 2 out of 3 from the A's, and now we got the Baltimore Orioles coming into town. So I am out here very early today because I got to go down to the stadium very early. Anyway, enough of my personal life. Back to this Chevelle, heavy Chevy, and one of the things I wanted to take care of right away was this battery tray was bugging me. I don't know who, some kind of fabrication somebody had to take some bolts out from the bottom. So now I got to pull it out of there, but I got the right battery tray to put it in there. We got a few, clean up a few details on this motor, and we should be moving right along on this week. Hopefully we'll get it started by the end of the week. All right, there we go. We got the correct factory style battery tray in there now. Two big fender washers go from underneath there. Disregard that crack there. Oh, these plastic inner fender wells, they're something else. And then, of course, on the inside here, you got this as an angle. Of course, there's a bolt that goes right through there. And then over here on this side, it's the, I don't know. There's no bolt over there. There's no way to put one in there. Probably gets a little L bracket that I don't have. Let me take a look, see if there's a hole underneath. There's a bolt hole, but I don't know. It doesn't really line up. Let me know. I can't remember on the 70 what we did there. But anyway. All right, got the new battery down there. Look at that. Oh, reproduction battery. Isn't that awesome? Ooh, look at that brand new cover. Look at brand new. All right, we got the new battery setting down there. Look at that. Oh, man, high dollar battery, right? Nope. No, just fake. See, just a Deco battery, whatever that is. Deco instead of Delco. Oh, no, it's a Delco. Anyway, hey, make sure you want to have good grounds on this. And one of your grounds is going to go to your fender here. Okay, so you got this wire. But make sure you use one of these star washers so it digs in through the paint there. Okay? You want to dig in through that paint to make a good connection, all right? So make sure you're going to put this through here, and then you're going to put the star washer so it can dig through the paint, and then you're going to tighten it up good. And then we're going to do the same thing over here is another sheet metal screw that's going to go into this alternator bracket for the other side of the negative cable there. Of course, we got the positive cable. We've talked about that before. And make sure you get your tie down. I don't have my tie down here. We don't want this battery going anywhere. So, yeah, be looking good pretty quick here. All right, I'm gonna do a little cleanup work here. I kind of scrubbed this down with that Dawn Super Wash over there. Boy, I like that for cleaning grease off. So I cleaned this area off on the cowl, and these seals right here, I know it's kind of, it looks old, and it's kind of chewed up here on the end, but I'm going to do my best to save this seal because it's nice and pliable, and it's pushed down nice and flat. These new seals that are out actually set too high, and they push the hood up, and it's just terrible to deal with. I've made suggestions to people that when you put this seal on, that you kind of stretch it as you move along. So anyway, I do want to put a little freshen this up through here. I probably put a little more seam sealer down through here, and then give it a nice coat of black there. So I got a little bit of work to do masking off, and these are held on with these little push pins. So I've got a set of these pliers to kind of get in there and pry them up. All right, here we go. Okay, I kind of got to laugh. This car was made in Baltimore, so I'm going to give my buddy Richard Doyle a hassle here because they only had a minute or so to do each job. And I can see they didn't use every single hole. They used this one. They used this one at the curve. They used this one in the middle. Once again at the curve, because these were snapping off as I was taking them off. And over here, and I see some remnants of some glue too. But they didn't utilize every one of these holes through here to get their job done in 1 minute. Kind of cracks me up. All right, we're doing a couple projects at a time here, so a couple comments here. I went ahead and put some fresh seam sealer down through here, and I started taping this up because I'm going to put a fresh coat of black down through there. But you can see by the factory, I could see the brush marks, and it looked like they had, I don't know, about an inch wide brush. I just used a chemical brush and went back into the seams and covered up all the cracks and whatnot in there. And then I'm working on vacuum hoses too. Hey, make sure you check your vacuum hoses. I mean, this one looked like it got mangled up pretty good on the fan blade. So I've got some new hose, and we're going to replace that. It went to this canister up here, this charcoal canister, and then I think it routes over somewhere to the carburetor there. So we'll figure that out. All right, keep going. All right, here's a few things on this, few fun things on this battery. So hey, you know, when they do these reproduction units, all the caps are all red here, and this little Delco eye is actually painted red. But if you want to make it a little more correct, drill that out, put a clear rod through there, and paint the rod green on the other side. And that way it'll look like, you know, the green eye meant that you had a good battery. Another thing that I do, and I'll show you why in a second, your battery's going to probably go bad eventually. So, you know, you're just putting a topper on here. Put a little, I put duct sealant around here, okay? Or you can put what do you call that? Windows sealant too. It's more black. But that'll help hold that down. Now, one more thing. Do you think it goes this way, where you can read Delco? Or does it go this way, where Delco's backwards? Now, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what the Delco engineers were thinking when they made these batteries. Because if I open up my hood, I'd want Delco to be prominently displayed just so you could read it nice and easy. But actually, they do go like this. They go on backwards. Okay? I'm going to push this down real quick. So hang on. I need 2 hands. All right. So there you go. It's on there. One of the things Larry and I like to do is we like to put that gummy stuff on there because sometimes people actually wrap their fingers around here to check to see if this is a topper or not. And if they touch that gummy stuff, they actually get it on their fingers. And we'll just kind of chuckle when we see that. All right, splashed a coat of matte black on there. Of course, you don't want that to be shiny up there because you don't want any glare. But yeah, we're looking okay. I might look a little shiny, but it's not really. And I got the hood hinges outside hanging from the Chevelle tree. And of course, we painted those too. So yeah, we're moving right along. Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and we're over here at Mike's house, still working on the 72 heavy Chevy. And I apologize for not bringing you guys up to date lately. I know I've been moving right along. I usually work 3 days a week over here for about 5 hours at a shot. And last week I did work 4 days a week, but this week I only got 3 days because I'm back down to the Guardian Stadium doing my usher ticket taker stuff and having a blast down there. It's always great to, you know, get to see everybody coming into the ballpark and see quite a few friends come in too. I saw Pete Delaporte last night, real good friend, and you know, Herb's been on my channel a couple videos ago, and it was great to visit with him. We had John Sutherland from my mowing days came in. He was the territory manager, and it was great to see him. But anyway, you know, now we're back concentrating on this car, and all these questions start running through your head. You know, did I hook this up right? Did I do that right? And hopefully you did. You know, I mean, we're coming down the home stretch. I've got the car up high right now. I've got to connect up the lower radiator hose, and the car had a plastic radiator. Well, plastic, I mean the end caps were, the tanks were plastic, aluminum radiator in it. And now I went and dug through the archives here at Mike's, and I found a correct Chevelle radiator. So we got an actual radiator that from 1970-ish. It might have been 72. I didn't look at the tank codes too much, but it's absolutely correct for this 72 heavy Chevy. And it's got more than enough cooling capacity. I think we might have switched from, on one of the Chevelles we worked on, maybe we switched from a 2-core to a 4-core, and this was left over. It might have been something like that. But anyway, yeah, I had Paul Tanner stop over. I should have caught him on video. He's a great, great mechanic, and he stopped over. I think he has a 70 Monte Carlo, or as I call them, a Chevelle Carlo, because they were built on the same assembly line as these Chevelles and had a lot of the same components. It's just a little bit longer of a car, and they kind of made that up in the engine compartment. They got an extra long radiator shroud on those things. But anyhow, I'll show you some shots. Everything's looking good. Like I said, I'm scratching my head to make sure I put everything back together right. And hopefully by the end of today's session, I might get to fire this off. So fingers crossed. It's all the time, you know. Set something down in the garage and then you can't find it. So you walk around the garage, and you find all sorts of things that you've been looking for, but you don't actually need right now. And that's been the case of this. And Donna from the Chevelle Club just stopped over. I gave her some things that I had for the Guardians for the Chevelle show. Don't forget, next week, it's almost here. Man, the summer's just blowing by. We got our big Northern Ohio Chevelle Club show with cars coming from all sorts of different states and Canada. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But the one thing I misplaced, driving me nuts all day yesterday, couldn't find the damn thing, was the cowl seal. And if I just opened my eyes, I'd see that I put it over here so I wouldn't lose it. Hung it up here on the lift. There it is. So you remember maybe yesterday I said I wanted to save this cowl seal because you know, it lays flat, and it's going to make the hood lay flat. And the one nice thing about these things is they're very pliable and they stretch. So I recommend when you put a brand new one on, stretch it as much as possible. Lay it out in the sun before you put it on, because you want this to lay flat. So I'm going to put this on, and like I said, the ends were boogered up on this. I just cut it off, you know, the minimum amount of material. And for the most part, I'm going to reuse the holes here. And you got these little push pins. And be careful. These, you know, I had extra. This, you go to the junkyard and get some extra things. Pull these push pins off. Pull these little clips off, because a lot of times what happens is they snap in half, and then you're like, oh, I don't. So always have a stash of little clips and things that you might need. And then I'll show you close up in a second. But you know, take a hole punch a hole in there. You know, you're just gonna put it through here. Now I'm gonna stretch it out for the last one, so I know I gotta put one more hole in there. But I'm gonna start it right here, and you know, you're simply just gonna push it in. You know, it might take a little, maybe you go get a push tool, help you push it in, and then you're just gonna work your way across. Now, like I said earlier in the video, that it kind of surprised me that GM didn't use push pins in every hole. And that was probably because the guy on the assembly line had a lot to do, and he just couldn't get you know, 6 or 8 pins in. Maybe he could only get four in, but who could tell after that? You know, it looked okay. So anyway, moving right along. Well, everything was going pretty good until, I mean, I had the car ready to go. I was putting gas in the carburetor. I didn't get radiator fluid in yet because I just wanted to see it fire off. I was getting ready to click the key. The clutch wasn't feeling too good, so I went to make an adjustment on the clutch. And guess what? Yeah, I'm up shit creek now. The frickin' lift cable. Well, it didn't break. Thank God it didn't break. But I heard it binding up. I heard it making noises. And I only had it about a foot off the ground. So I put her in reverse and let her down. And now, well, what the heck am I going to do now? I probably got to make 4 more trips up and down the lift to get everything adjusted right. And, oh, crap. Stay tuned. All in the life cycle of a Chevelle. Ay, ay, ay.